February 1946, a routine exercise transforms into a fight for survival as a squadron of Swedish B-18B bombers plunges headlong into blinding coastal whiteout. With the horizon erased and fuel gauges plummeting towards empty, the crews faced a terrifying choice. Because the pilots were under strict orders to maintain radio silence for the exercise, the squadron had to attempt a blind landing on the frozen sea ice. One aircraft, the Saab B-18B number 18172, coded Red David, made a surprisingly smooth landing on the ice. But days later, during a salvage attempt, a towing wire snapped, sending the bomber through the ice to the bottom of the Baltic Sea. Fast forward 33 years, in 1979, diving teams located the perfectly preserved wreck, extracting it from the seabed and began painstaking restoration. But the recovery of Red David highlights a strange historical contradiction. Sweden is famous for its strict neutrality during the Second World War. Why did a neutral nation possess a heavy bomber fleet that they designed and built themselves? The salvaged Saab 18 represents a moment of acute geopolitical panic. The Swedish government realized that to survive a global war, they had to build an airspace industry from absolute scratch. Now rewind to 1937, Sweden faced a massive strategic vulnerability. They relied entirely on foreign imports for the military aircraft. Right as Nazi Germany was aggressively rearming to the south, the government responded by mandating the creation of Svenska Aeroplan AB, or Saab. Their mission was to natively engineer warplanes tailored specifically for unforgiving Scandinavian combat environments. Here's their first major success, the Saab 17. Engineers gave it a modular design, swapping the standard wheels for winter skis or naval floats. This adaptability allowed for operations from improvised bases like frozen lakes rather than traditional runway targeted by bombers. The Saab 17 also played a covert historical role. During the German occupation of Denmark, Sweden used these planes to secretly train a unit of exiled Danish refugee pilots known as the Daneforce. The Saab 17's triumph proved Sweden could build its own warplanes. That success gave them the confidence to attempt a much heavier, faster bomber, a decision that would inadvertently trigger a lethal engineering crisis. In 1944, Saab introduced the Saab 18. By upgrading the powerful license-built Daimler-Benz engines, the new bomber achieved vastly higher top speeds. But this aerodynamic simulation illustrates a deadly problem. At speeds over 250 miles per hour, wind shear forces would push a jumping pilot directly into the path of the rear tailplane. Manual bailout became aerodynamically impossible. Crews could simply not clear the massive tail section. To solve this physics problem, Saab engineers teamed up with munitions company Bofors to try a radical solution: explosives. They developed a ballistic ejection seat, placing a compressed explosive charge directly beneath the crew member to blast the pilot safely over. This photo shows the Saab 21, an experimental model featuring a highly dangerous rear propeller. They began ground testing the explosive seat on this aircraft in 1943, before retrofitting the technology into the entire Saab 18 bomber fleet in 1949. By overcoming the speed crisis, Swedish engineers established the design standard for ejection system that would protect combat pilots for decades to come. By the late 1950s, the global aerospace industry crossed into the jet age, rendering propeller-driven bombers like the Saab 18 rapidly obsolete. Looking at this photo of a swept-wing Saab 32 Lancet jet, you can see how Saab successfully transitioned into a modern world-class manufacturer. At the same time, the explosive ejection seat they helped pioneer became a worldwide military standard. Over the ensuing decades, that single invention saved thousands of lives globally. Today you can visit the meticulously restored Red David sitting quietly in the exhibition hall of the Swedish Air Force Museum. Red David serves as the physical link between a defenseless, import-reliant nation and the independent airspace powerhouse Sweden is today.